Health Watch now. The CDC is strongly warning Americans to avoid all non-essential travel to China as the coronavirus continues to spread. At least 106 people have died and more than 4,500 have been infected. Hong Kong has also announced that all rail lines to mainland China will be cut before the end of the week. Ramy Inocencio is in Beijing. Ramy, we understand that the U.S. has a flight evacuating Americans now from Wuhan, which is basically the epicenter of this virus.
Yes, that's right. That plane is scheduled to take off in roughly 12 hours time. That is Wednesday morning here in China. But not every American living in Wuhan will be on that plane for the simple reason is that there aren't enough seats. Now, we did speak to one American citizen, a man in Wisconsin. His wife and his child are stuck in Wuhan, and he's hoping that they can get on that plane.
Yeah, you excited to see me, Adeline? Yeah, I miss you too.
Sam Roth is doing everything he can to help his family get out of Wuhan. His wife Daisy and his two children, Adeline and Abigail, flew to China to see Daisy's family just last week for the big Lunar New Year holiday. Sam stayed in Wisconsin.
From the moment they stepped foot on Wuhan, they were told, stay inside, don't get in big gatherings, and then the city went on lockdown.
And they're just 3 of the roughly 1,000 Americans unable to leave. They hope to be chosen to fly on the State Department's chartered flight Wednesday. The government says priority will be for those at greater risk.
We've got a 10-month-old, we've got a 5-year-old. They're susceptible and they should be prioritized.
U.S. health officials do say the virus is not spreading widely in the country and public danger is low. Still, 5 cases have been confirmed while more than 100 suspected cases are being tested across 26 states.
The American public should not be fearful about this, but you really need to take it very seriously because as things evolve, our recommendations and our policy will change to be in accordance with what the evidence is.
Back in Wuhan, the city is racing to finish 2 hospitals in the next few weeks to treat thousands of people. Wuhan's mayor on national television has offered to resign for what he called an unsatisfactory response, saying about 5 million people left his city before it went on lockdown.
So, Ramy, the U.S. is not the only country preparing to fly citizens out of mainland China. What do we know about how all of those evacuations are going?
Sure. Well, aside from the United States, Anne-Marie, Japan was the most recent country just today to announce that it is also organizing a flight to get its citizens out of the country. In addition, there's a long list of several other countries. Earlier this week, France also said that it was trying to do so. The interesting thing here, though, is that the foreign ministry met with many ambassadors here in Beijing earlier this week, and they basically said that there is no need to try to evacuate anyone out of Wuhan. In addition, the World Health Organization head is here, and he also said that that's not necessary, but you can see by the rising concern, some could say panic, that people are not listening to those officials and they're getting their people out.
You mentioned that the mayor of Wuhan offered to resign over the way the government has handled this. We know that overnight the confirmed cases of coronavirus in China doubled. What has the government response been like? We did a lot of stories on how, some of these cities were being sort of locked down, but what else is going on?
Sure. Well, the biggest thing was the government trotting out the mayor of Wuhan on national television, no less. And he said that he accepted responsibility for what he called basically his government's slow response to this crisis. He also admitted, he claimed that 5 million people in his city left before the lockdown. Now, through the context of how the government works here, this is often the case where they send out some kind of person, some would say a sacrificial lamb, to take the fall so that other people higher up can continue to work. We also saw on the flip side of this, China's premier come out to go visit the site of 2 hospitals that are also being built. So there's this juxtaposition of someone taking the blame and someone taking the praise here. Looking ahead, there is definitely damage control coming out of Beijing, but they're trying to put a brave face forward. But this coronavirus epidemic, according to China's health minister, is only going to get worse. Infections are only going to rise before it gets better.
Wow. Okay, Ramy, thank you so much.